I know I want to talk a little bit about the story of with you and Miles Davis of getting that gig. I'm also curious about how the audition went. I mean, obviously you got the gig, but with the Stones, what was that whole process like for you?
The audition with the Stones was actually, it's funny because the two auditions that, that have been, the pinnacles, and I guess in a way of my career, the audition with Miles and the audition with the Stones, were both very informal. It was not nearly as, there was nobody sitting behind a table asking me questions and telling me play this now and play that now. As a matter of fact, when I walked into the room, Mick, he introduced himself and said, "You remember we met during the filming of Bring on the Night?" And I said, "Of course, I remember that." He says, "So listen, man, if you don't know the songs, we'll teach you the songs and then we'll have the audition."
Wow. Okay.
It doesn't really get more informal than that. So everybody was very comfortable, and Ronnie introduced himself and offered me a Guinness, and so of course I knew Keith from his dealings with Charlie Drayton and Steve Jordan, and the Expensive Winos.
Right.
So it was meeting Charlie and sitting down and playing through a bunch of the hits. And a few months later, I came in and they'd written much of the material for Voodoo Lounge. I came in and played through some of that stuff, and they asked me to record with them.
Wow. And that's how you found out you got the gig?
Well, that's how I found out I was going to record with them. It wasn't until that would have been in October of '93, when they were doing additional recording in Los Angeles in January of '94. I guess I came to the studio to hang out and just missed Charlie. And Keith remarked to me, he said, "Did you see Charlie, man? He just left." And I said, "Well, I guess I missed him because I just arrived and I didn't see him." And he said, "Well, when he was here, he asked me, he says, so we've recorded the record now, and, we used Darryl, and so we're going to use him on tour, right, Keith?" And Keith told me that he said to Charlie, "Well, of course, man. Yeah, we're going to use Darryl." He says, Charlie said to him, "Well, don't you think we ought to tell him, And so Keith, says, "So, man, we'd love to have you come and tour with us." And that's how that part of the thing happened. I was actually asked to record first, and then a few months later, I was asked to join the band.
Amazing. What was that first show like with the Stones? Nervous? Okay. Where were you at with that?
We'd rehearsed a lot. They hadn't played since Steel Wheels. And so we rehearsed for several weeks up in Toronto. And so we were, by showtime, we were pretty much ready to rock. So I don't remember being particularly nervous. It was definitely an eye-opening experience to see the enthusiasm of a Stones crowd. That was something that was pretty amazing to see. The Stones fans are from my experience unlike almost anybody else. They're really dedicated fans, and they're enthusiastic, and you hear them and they're singing along, and everybody's having a great time. So that was a pretty unique experience. There's also great Miles fans and great Sting fans, but Stones fans definitely, I guess, also because of the number of them, make their imprint on you pretty early on.